Hello and welcome back to Get Great at Maths. I'm here to help you pass your maths exam, so hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to look at keywords, key formulas and how to gain top marks. So let's get ready to get great at maths. This is a question on long division. Now we've got to work out 34 into 986, or basically 986 divided by 34. It says you must show your method here on the left side, which means you must show your working out. The answer must go in the box here, and this will give you 2 marks in the exam. If you know how to do it, crack on, get an answer straight away and see if you're right a little bit later. I'm going to show you the method to be able to do this. So we're going to be using the bus stop method, which is obvious because it's already set out using the bus stop method. Now you've got a choice of long or short division. Now primarily we really should be doing long division, but some students find long division very difficult and confusing. So I'll show you how it can be worked as short division. And just to help you make it nice and easy, write each digit in a box. So each of these little squares, write each number in each of the little squares to help you set your work out. Now we're divided by 34, so it's really handy if you can write down the 34 times table before you start, because it makes it much easier as you're working through. So press pause, have a go at working out the answer, and then press play when you're ready to hear the answer. Fantastic work. So we're going to start off by writing down our 34 times table. So we're going to do 34 plus 34, so double 34, double 4 is 8, double 3 is 6, so I've got 68. So to find the third term, I'm going to add 34 onto the second term. So basically adding these two numbers here. 4 plus 3 is 12, so it ends in a 2. 6 plus 3 is 9, plus the 1 gives me 102. Now to find the fourth term, I can either double the second term or add on 34 to the 102. So 4 plus 2 is 6, 3 plus 0 is 0, and 1 at the front, so it's 136. If you double 68, double 8 is 16, double 6 is 12, plus the extra 10 gives you 13 for 136. You get the same answer. Now we're going to add 34 onto 136, or you could add together your second and your third term, because 2 plus 3 is 5, and we're trying to work out the fifth term. I'm just going to add 34 onto the last term because that's the way the majority of people will just work it out. 4 plus 6 is 10, so that's the number belonging to 10. And then you've got 3 plus 3 is 6, plus the extra 10 is a 7, and another 100, so you've got 170. Then adding on 34 to this one, 4 plus 0 is 4, 3 plus 7 is 10, a number belonging to 10, plus the extra 1 to give you 204. Then adding 34 on again, 4 plus 4 is 8, 3 plus 0 is 3, and the 2 at the front, 238. And again another 34, 8 plus 4 is 12, you've got the 3 plus 3 is a 6, plus the extra 10 is a 7, so that takes you 272. So 4 plus 2 is 6, 3 plus 7 is 10, a number bond, so it takes this 2 to a 3, so we've got 306. Now this gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You will only be expected to go up to a maximum of 9 terms. You may not need to go as far as 9, depends on what numbers have been given. So if you don't need to go as far as the 9th term, just work out a few to start with, but you may need to go down as far as this. There is a little clue in the end that this last digit is a 6, and if you look through here, you've got a 6 at this point here, and you've got a 6 at this point here, so it could be one of these two numbers. So you could stop at 4, or you may need to have gone down to 9. So we're going to look at long division first. So we're going to set it out using the boxes, and we're going to say 34 into 9. Now 34 doesn't fit into 9, so we now have to look at, so we put a 0 at the top, and then we look at 34 into the first two digits, which is into 98. So 34 into 98, we look over here, 34 smaller, 68 is smaller than 98, 102 is too big. So 68 is the largest number that goes into 98. So we write twice because it's 1, 2, so it's the second time. And then we write 68 underneath. Now 8 take away 8 is 0. and 9 take away 6 is 3. So we've got 30. Now at this stage here, when you do short division, you will have said how many times does 34 go into 98? And then you have to say how many more is there from 68 to 98, which is 30. So this bit here, you have to work out in your head when you do the short division, but it just follows the same method as your normal division. Normally when you do short division, you have smaller numbers, so it works well with the smaller numbers. But when you get larger numbers, the long division becomes easier to help you work out your answer. Now this number here will never go into this one here because this is a remainder. This is how many is left, what is left over, like the remainder. So because we've only got 30 and 34 doesn't fit into it, we have to bring down this 6 here to make the number 306. So we're looking at how many times does 34 go into 306. So we come and look over here, look down, and you can see it goes in exactly down here. Now that was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th time. So it goes in 9 times exactly. So we write 306 underneath. And when you subtract them, you will find you get the answer 0. If it doesn't come down to the answer 0, you've made a mistake somewhere. So you can guarantee your answer is correct here because it comes down to the value 0. So make sure you always come down to this 0. This question was worth 2 marks. So if you make a little mistake doing this method, you will get 1 mark. But to get the full marks, you need to get the answer at the top here, which is 29. Now doing short division, we've got the question set out the same. We start off again the same, 34 into 9 doesn't go. Now how many is left over is 9, so that gets written in here. That's how we write it as short division. Here we just said how many went into 9. It didn't fit in, so then we went to 98. It's exactly the same principle. So 34 into 98 we know goes twice. You can see it up here, 1, 2, 68. So from 68 to 98, so we've got 78, 88, 98. So it goes in, there's 30 left over. So we write the 30 in here. And that was the same as this 30 here. When we did 8 take away 8 is 0, 9 take away 6 is 3. So we've just written it out rather than just thinking about it in our head, because 30 is a big remainder to work out. We've now got to do 34 into 306. You can look down here, 306 is at the bottom again. We knew it went in 9 times, so the answer is 29, and that's the number you need to put in the box here. The mark scheme will give you a method mark for using this method here for the long division. It does make it easier to do the subtractions with large numbers using long division, but some children just prefer the short division method because it follows on from what you've done before. So make sure you know which method you prefer and you can get the correct answer. Give yourself a big tick if you got it correct. Well done. The mark scheme does show the answer is 29 for up to 2m, which means up to 2 method marks. You get 1 mark for doing long division like this with an error, or you get an error at the top because you haven't worked it out correctly, or using the short division like I just showed you with the remainder of 30 in there and making a mistake in here. Either of these methods will give you 1 mark, so make sure you show you're working out. If you found this video useful, please like, share and subscribe so we can all get great at maths. Remember, tell your friends. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to share, like and subscribe. Please follow Get Great at Maths on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and X. What do you want to see next on Get Great at Maths? Please comment below. See you next time.